All right, hello everybody. My name is Riley Calm. I'm gonna tell you about the time that I attended my friend's Sweet 16 birthday party. So my friend Violet was having her Sweet 16 birthday party, and we were mutual friends. We went to a small high school, so we kind of knew everybody. Everybody knew everybody. And she invited me to her Sweet 16, which I thought was a little strange because we weren't super close, but we were friends. And so she invited me to her Sweet 16, and it happened to be in Disneyland. I hadn't been to Disneyland since I was like 4, and so it was kind of like the first time I could remember being at Disneyland, which was kind of cool. And so we all went to her house, and we got in like a little party bus, and it was pretty fun. I went with Braden, my friends Braden, Gabe, and Albert, and then she had a bunch of her friends going as well, and then her family had to go because we were minors and we needed chaperones, stuff like that. So we went, and we get to Disneyland, and we're hanging out, and it's a pretty fun day. And we're kind of all off in like separate groups, just hanging out. And then we all decide that we want to go on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride in Disneyland, which obviously is a pretty fun ride. And so we get on the ride and everything's going normal, but as it usually does, the Pirates of the Caribbean ride kind of breaks down. And so we're all just kind of chilling there, waiting for it to be fixed. And to my left, there's like a little platform with some of the characters from the movie. And then on the right, there's the big town or whatever, the big village. And two of my friends, Emily and Sarah, both look at me and they dare me. They're like, "Get out! Just get out of the out of the boat and get on the platform." And I'm like, "No, like that's stupid. Like, why would I do that?" And they kept daring me, and I'm like, "Whatever. What's the worst that could happen?" So I get out, and I get on there and I do a little dance. Little did I know, there was a little hidden camera right there next to like one of the crates, and I jump back in the boat right before it starts. And we finish off the ride, and we get out, and I see Disney security out there by talking to the attendants. I didn't think anything of it at the time. I figured, like, whatever, they're there for the maintenance or something. And they started pointing over to our group, and now I'm getting a little bit worried. I'm like, uh-oh, like, what did I do? Or, like, is that really a big deal? And they point over to my friend Albert, and they motion him to come over, and I was like, uh-oh, like, what did Albert do? Because I was kind of thinking what I did was fine. But they motioned over to Albert, and I started overhearing them. They're talking about, were you the one that jumped out of the boat? And obviously wanting to save Albert from any trouble, obviously I admitted it was me. And they motioned me to come with them. And we had to go into this little, kind of like a shed-like structure. And it had iron bars on it, like a little jail. And they put me in the jail. And they said, since you're underage, you need a chaperone or a parent to come and get you. And I was like, oh no, like, that's so embarrassing. I barely know Violet's parents. Like, that's really, really embarrassing. And so all my friends are kind of waiting outside this place, waiting for us to figure things out. And turns out Violet's parents are in the other park, which is California Adventure. And Violet has two younger sisters that were like, I think they were about 6 and 8 at the time, so they're younger. And they're out there, hanging out at California Adventure. And so we had to call them and explain to them what happened, so they had to come get me. But they were in the middle of, like, they were about to get on a ride. And so it was really embarrassing. I told all my friends to go off and have a good time. I didn't want the day to be ruined because of me. So they all kind of left, and I was waiting in this jail for about 2 hours, just waiting there for Violet's parents. It was really bad. And they finally get there, and I had to explain to them what happened, and like it was dumb and all that. And it was really, really embarrassing. But honestly, it was one of the most like memorable days of like all of high school. And so honestly, I don't regret it now, but back then it was really bad. But it was a really fun day, and that's the time I went to Disneyland jail.